All right, guys, I'm here at Thunderhill Raceway. I'm excited to be here with Hyundai as we're going to be driving the new Veloster N. If you have been on my site and you check out my videos a little bit past, you see I drove the new Veloster when they launched it in Austin a few months ago. This is the high performance model. This is the one that's going to go up against the Golf GTI, the Focus ST. 275 horsepower, lots of clever electronics. Let's see how it does at the track. All right, I'm in the car, I'm in my headstock, and we are gearing up to hit the track. Should be a blast. All right, so it's autocross time. Let's see what my best time is. All right. All right, so I just got out of the autocross car and I did a 41.5, which is right about where the faster people are at. The fastest time, the track record for this track is 39 and some change, which was set by the pro racing drivers, and the fastest journalist time was about 40.2. So I'm not too disappointed with that. I only went around 3 times, so that's not too bad. But I'm gonna head back over to the main track and get some more drive time on Thunderhill. And yeah, it's been a great day so far. I think Hyundai's really hit out of the park with this. The N model is really, really impressive. Lots of fun to drive, and so far living up to all of the hype. So I just got back from Thunderhill Raceway with Hyundai testing the new Veloster N, and I kind of wanted to give you guys my rundown on it. Now, first things first, this is not a sponsored video by Hyundai. I was actually flown out to the event with all the other media like Road and Track and Jalopnik and guys from ABC and NBC and all the big wigs, and then there was me with thegentlemanracer.com also there, which was very exciting. And I've already written my story and put my story up on the site, so if you want to go read that, you can. There's a lot of pictures and stuff there. But I wanted to make sure you guys understood that I wasn't making this video for Hyundai, because Hyundai actually did have quite a few influencers out at the event and YouTubers who are making paid promotional videos, and this is not a paid promotional video for the Hyundai Veloster N. So first impression of the car, looking at it, it's a very cool looking car. I like the performance blue with the kind of orangish red striping. I like the body kit that they put on it, the functional brake cooling ducts, the functional spoiler, a lot of the really just cool aggressive features you would expect on the hot hatchback version of a standard car like the Veloster. Now, when I drove the Veloster R-Spec earlier this year in Austin, I was really impressed with that car overall. But the N is a whole nother vehicle. Like, it is night and day difference in driving both cars, and that comes down to a lot of technology. The N has an electronic limited slip differential. It has adjustable suspension that's electronically controlled for different sport modes and things like that for the dampening. It's got bigger brakes. It's got 275 horsepower in the performance model, which we'll get to that in a little bit, why there's 2 actual versions of the N. And it has a nicer, cleaner aesthetic on the inside, where there's just not a lot of stuff going on. The R-Spec is cool, but it has like the anodized aluminum colors. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. The ultimate turbo of the standard Veloster has the two-tone interior and all that. This car is very, very clean with just a couple of light performance blue accents and the blue seat belts kind of setting it off as other than a basically black interior. The sport seats in the car are very, very nice. And of course it has all your standard stuff, air conditioning, power windows, Apple CarPlay with the screen, kind of all the basics that you would expect in a modern car, but it doesn't have all the luxury options that a lot of the hot hatches have started to offer. Now, if you compare this car to like a Golf GTI, the Golf GTI starts around $28,000 for a base model Golf GTI with a stick shift. That's where the Veloster is going to be at. But the Golf GTI has so many options that you can actually get an Autobahn edition that's about $48,000. So the Veloster is not going that direction at all at this point, and hopefully Hyundai will keep these as purely performance-focused vehicles. And that's kind of the thing I really liked about them, is that the car is literally a performance-focused vehicle. It's very fast, it handles, it stops well, and it does it all for a pretty good price. Now, the Veloster N standard will start around $28,000 or just under $28,000 according to Hyundai. And then there's the N Performance, which is what we were driving at the track. Now, the N Performance is a more performance version of the N, which sounds really weird, and I don't think we're going to have a lot of people ordering the standard Veloster N when you can get the Veloster N Performance for just a few $1,000s more, because according to Hyundai, the price point on the Veloster N Performance is going to be only starting at just under $30,000, while the standard one's going to be starting just under $28,000. So if it's a $2,000 to $3,000 swing, I see most people opting for the higher performance. You get 25 more horsepower and bigger brakes with that package. Both the standard Veloster N and the Veloster N Performance come with the Pirelli P0 19-inch tires on them. However, there is actually a dealer-installed option for the Trofeo tire from Pirelli, which is a higher performance cup, kind of barely street-legal sticky track tire, which is pretty cool, but I don't think a lot of people are going to opt for those if they plan on daily driving this car. Now, the cool thing is that there is a lot of electronic technology that's gone into the Hyundai that's never been in a Hyundai ever before, and it works very, very well. All this was developed on the Ring over in Germany. Now, the one thing that was a little interesting was Hyundai has not released any Ring times, and they have not released any 0 to 60 times of the car, so we'll have to wait to really see what those are. I mean, we were trying to mess with at the track, but to get an accurate time, you really have to have the right timing equipment to do that, and we obviously didn't have that, as just kind of out on the range driving around the track. Now, once you put the car in what they call N mode, which is a checkered flag button on the steering wheel, the exhaust has a valve that opens up so it gets a little louder, a little raspier, the suspension firms up, and the car takes full advantage of its shifting points. One thing I did like is they actually put kind of an old school shift light in it with the multi-colors that goes across the top of the dash and then goes into the red line, which is really kind of fun. But once you get the car on the track, it's pretty impressive. I mean, the car is so easy to drive that the professional drivers on the autocross course were setting times that were 39.5 roughly, and we had journalists, not myself, but we had journalists setting them in the 39.8 and 40.1. I was around a 41 was my fastest time, but I only did about 3 trips around the autocross. Some of those guys were over there all day trying to beat the professional drivers, and I wanted to go to the big track because it was a lot more fun to be doing like 120 down the straight and then slamming on the brakes at Thunderhill. Now, after driving the car hard on the track, the brake fade wasn't bad, the feedback was really good, the steering is excellent, it's a very, very responsive and fun to drive car on the track. And then the cool thing is, you turn it off, you get out on the street, you put it in standard mode or sport mode, and it's comfortable, it shifts normally, it drives normally. And one of the things that I found really interesting was that Hyundai is not penalizing you with some track only warranty, or the N gets a special warranty. The N is still coming with a 10-year 100,000 mile powertrain warranty and the 5-year 60 standard Hyundai warranty. I mean, of course, obviously if you explode on the track, They're not going to cover you for racing car damage, but you can go drive this car hard and still have a Hyundai 100,000 mile warranty, which is pretty impressive. Now, as far as anything else on the car that I didn't like, there really wasn't a whole lot that I didn't like. The 3-door layout takes a little getting used to. That's one of its kind of little funky parlor pieces, I know. But you know, it's a minor thing. I would be using the 1-door all the time anyways. I'm never in the passenger side of my car as it is, so it doesn't really matter. It actually makes a lot of sense for people who are, you know, wanting something sporty, but they also have to pick up their kids from school every once in a while. The Hyundai Veloster really does that well. It still has the terrible rear view, you know, blind spots because of the tiny, tiny rear window that the first generation had. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of negative to say about the Veloster. They've done a very good job with it, and the N took all of the goodness that was the regular Veloster R-Spec and just amplified it with a lot of great technology and performance options. Now, another cool thing that Hyundai is doing is they did talk a little bit about it, and they haven't really rolled out a lot of information about it yet, but they are going to have their own like performance parts business as well at the dealership, where you can get in performance parts to upgrade your R-Spec or to upgrade your N to even higher levels of performance. What that program looks like and when it's rolling out, we don't really know. I did ask them if they were going to offer any type of like body in white or race car program for people who want to buy cars to race, and they had no comment at this time, but are hoping to have something they can say yes or no in the near future. I think it'd be a great car for autocrossers, track day enthusiasts. It'd be a great little Pirelli World Challenge car. It's a really, really exciting car. And the i30, which is basically the European 4-door hatchback version of the Elantra GT that we have in the US, has been running a lot of this technology engine for over a year now and has been doing very well in, you know, racing series in Europe, and I could see it doing very well here in the US as well. Other than that, yeah, I really gotta say, I was really pleasantly surprised at how good the car was. In driving dynamic, I would say it was closest to a Volkswagen Golf GTI out of all of the hot hatches of the most recent ones I've driven. I would say is, if I was gonna pick out of the range of cars that are out there, looks-wise, it's very cool looking. It's a lot of content. It is a little exclusive. I mean, the car has actually done very well in every market they've already launched it in, because they did launch it earlier this year in Korea. Now in Korea, they were expecting to sell between 100 and 150 units in the first quarter of releasing it nationwide in all of Korea. And the first quarter, they actually ended up having orders for almost 900 of them, which is pretty impressive. So that's my take on the Veloster N. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these kind of my take on the car videos in the future. So if you guys like these, again, like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot here. We are trying to grow our YouTube presence. And also head over to thegentlemanracer.com. We have a lot of awesome content over there. Cars, travel, gear, all kinds of adventure stuff over there. So head over there and check that out. And I will see you guys next time.